And welcome once again to yet another tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about anti-airs and everything about air defense. You may have watched the previous video I did on defending, and all well and good, but I think that a good defense is also not much about holding down back and trying to avoid getting hit, but also keeping your opponent away from you. And I think of anti-air as a source of free damage. So today I'm going to try and get you up to speed on how to be competent in anti-airing and overall improving your game. So before we start talking about how to get your opponent to jump, I would like to talk to you about how to be competent in anti-airing. So first of all, in this game there are three various kinds of jumps. So some characters have low jumps, some have mid jumps, and others have floaty jumps. Alright, for example, low jumps will be characters like Hakan, while mid jumps you would like to include the all-star Ryu and other most Shotos. And for floaty examples we have Bison, Chun-Li, Rose, and Dalsum. So it's important to recognize that not everybody has the same jump height and jump arc. So you want to practice against these three so you get yourself used to anti-airing all the kind of jumps available in the game. Now, to anti-air, all you have to do is to pick your character, figure out the anti-air button, and go on ahead and set the dummy to jump kick you or jump whatever amazing normal they have, and you then proceed to anti-air them 50 times a row, or you can even go 100 times a row on each side with different buttons. So by the time you get 50 reps of anti-airs per day, do that for a week or two, you'll probably be as good as Daigo when it comes to anti-airing, or maybe as good as Mike Ross. But you'll be good. Actually, this tip was given to me by Wolfcrone some years ago, and it really worked out my game, and I advise you to try that. Now, after you finish practicing anti-airs, I want you to understand something. There are many different ways to anti-air your opponents. There are anti-air normals, and you have anti-air specials. Then you have air to airs, and you have anti-air super stroke culture. Now, for me personally, I will group anti-air difficulties like this. The best anti-airs are, if you have it, will be standing normals combined with charge anti-airs. And by this charge I mean the down charge, up charge, guile, and DJ. Because why I consider this ones as first is because it takes the least time to get it out there. Standing normals don't need to press any directions. Charge anti-air, you just have to press up plus the button and the anti-air comes out. So you can afford to get this out quickly more than others. Next to that will be you can also include crouch normals. Alright, next on the list will be anti-air specials. So that will be second. So why I put this one second is because you have to perform this special motion first before the anti-air is going to come out. So by performing those motions, you really, spend quite a number of time to get the motion out first. Like for Ryu, you probably have to do like forward, down, and down forward before you press your punch button. So the time it takes to push this probably will cut down the time you have to anti-air when you just have to press one button at this junction. So this one is second, and third on the list will be air to airs. And the reason I place this one as third is because jumps are not instant in this game. Most characters have 4-frame pre-jump. They'll still be on the floor before they even leave the ground, and most air normals will be at least 5 frames. So at best you're looking at a 9-frame anti-air, and this is not really the best options there unless you are reading a jump or predicting a jump or anticipating a jump. Then I probably suggest you go with the other two. Then fourth will be anti-air supers and anti-air ultras. Unless your character has incredibly fast super or 1-frame ultras, which doesn't exist, although again has 2-frame super, you might want to leave this out unless you're completely reading the situation. Why? Because the time it takes for you to perform the ultra motion and press the button is very, very long. I can assure you it's very long. If you want to know how bad it is, try to perform standing 720 with Zangief. That actually means that you have to input everything in 6 frames for that to work. Or we can try the same with Hugo, who is 8 frames. I trust that you won't be getting this consistently. So now I have this plus most ultras clocking at 7 to 10 frames. Let's say maybe like let's give it a 10. So you now have 18 frames before your ultra even comes out, and you have to react to the jump too, and everybody has a jump of roughly average of 40 frames, and factoring human reaction time of 24 frames or thereabout, you see that this isn't really a viable idea. So when it comes to anti-airing, so I suggest you start first with the normals, then specials, then when you are feeling like a reaction god, you can now go with this too. So this is the basics on how to learn your anti-air game. Now with that aside, let's now talk about getting your opponent to jump at you. Okay, this eraser thing is not working, so I'm gonna have to wipe everything off. Yeah. Now, getting your opponent to jump is a different ball game. If you're playing online, it doesn't really matter because they're going to jump at you anyway. But if you play somebody reasonable, somebody that thinks, somebody that uses their brains, they might not really be so happy like jumping at you without provocation. So you need to provoke them. Now there are 3 factors that make people jumpy. Factor 1 will be fear. Factor 2 will be frustration. Factor 3 will be desperation. Alright, so let's start with chapter 1, with option 1, which is fear. Now, this attribute is usually comes with characters. Usually, characters like Zangief will make people jumpy because they don't want to get SPD'd. Characters like mostly grapplers make use of fear to get the opponent to jump, most likely jump away from them. Now there is a factor that everyone else has, and that will be level 3 focus. Now this tech was made popular by Aqua Silk and it's rightly called the snackish. So what this is you get your opponent in the corner, you knock them down, then you fake a level 3. What happens is that level 3 focus is unblockable, so you have to get off the ground somehow. So what you have to do is, before your opponent lets rip the level 3 focus, you just dash forward and wait. Most people will jump, and when they jump, you can feel comfortable anti-airing them. So this works if your character has air ultras, obviously, so that goes for the fear option. Second option will be frustration. Now this one happens when you shut down your opponent's ground game. Like if you keep counter poking them and you keep, landing combos that send them far away from you, what happens is that they get frustrated and they attempt to jump over your footsie normals and the normals you throw out. So to get this, usually when you win a footsie battle for a while, you can just calm down and watch if they're gonna try to jump over your normals. And let me throw this out at this juncture. Ryu his crouching forward is 19 frames, so feel free to throw that out there. If they try to jump over, just keep an eye that you have a free DP, because jumps are 40 frames, so 90 frames you're already done with your crouch forward. You have at least yet another 21 frames to mash your 3-frame shuriken. So that's out there. Alright, so third will be desperation. Now this one is usually when the time is running out. For an example, you can watch Xeon take on Snake Eyes in this recently concluded Evo, and what happened is that time was running out and Snake Eyes did three consecutive jumps. So that's this one works when time is running out, and usually tension is high and you probably might not be able to even anti-air them if you're not looking out for them. So these are the 3 factors that make your opponent to become jumpy. So now you know that depending on your character, you now figure out how to either induce fear, frustrate your opponent, or get them desperate. And when that happens, just remain calm and anti-air them as they try to get in on you. And I forgot to mention that getting your opponent in the corner will also get them to be jumpy most of the time in an attempt to escape, and I think that also falls under desperation. So put them in the corner, keep them there. Don't go for any fancy corner cross-ups, just keep them there, poke them, because they cannot walk out of your poking range, and anti-air them when they jump. So that's it. This, I think, is the longest video I've done, and thank you so much for hanging in there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and till next time, it's bye-bye.